Hi, and welcome back to Girl Talk. We are here at the Greenery, and I tell you what, whew, we made it. January is here, but it's always a good month here at the Greenery. What is our plant of the month?
Camellias.
You know, camellias are somewhat enigmatic to me. I love them. I think they're beautiful, but I didn't really realize they were hardy and that they were winter plants.
They're our winter bloomer.
Okay. And tell me more about winter bloomers. What does that mean? I can actually plant them now? They come in different varieties?
This is a great time to plant camellias. They come in an assortment of colors, basically in the whites and the pinks and the reds. There's early bloomers, mid-season bloomers, late season bloomers.
And I know as I come in, we have like tiny, bigger bushes, trees. Do they keep getting bigger, larger? Are they good for sun? Good for shade?
They're really a good shade plant.
Oh, are they
Camellia
really?
japonicas are better in the shade, afternoon shade.
Okay.
Camellia sasanquas, which bloom in the fall, they can tolerate some more sun. But unfortunately, they need to be kept away from the deer because the deer will eat them.
If I want to get a camellia now that it's January and I still want to get outside and bring some color into my garden, can you all here at the Greenery help kind of acclimate me as to what size, what color, which one would be the best for my yard?
We can recommend all of that, and we can come out and plant it also.
That makes even more sense. You know, speaking of planting, I think we're going to run into the antique shop. We've been looking at these gorgeous English gardens. We're going to go plant one and see what we've got.
How fun!
Yay! We are in the antique store here at the Greenery with Deanne, doing what you do best. We're talking about English gardens.
Our English European gardens that we do, yes. We have a variety of plants that we pick from, and sometimes the customer will bring in their own container, or they are able to come to the shop and pick out one on their own.
Well, we brought in a gorgeous Napa container, and we leave these inside, don't we?
Yes, all of these are indoor plants, and I can take you step by step on some of the ways that we create these gardens.
Exactly, because I definitely have to have the bird nest. I love those.
Since this container doesn't have drainage, that we usually go ahead and we start with some peanuts or some packing. That's a trick of the trade.
Okay.
And then we just go ahead and use regular potting soil that we get from the outside greenery department.
Okay.
And then the dimensions need to be proportioned to the size of the container. So this container would usually take maybe an orchid or a palm, so large, and then we could go ahead and surround them with various other plants.
Let me ask you a question. When I come in, do you help guide me as to what plants might be?
Yes, if you bring in a container and we can take a look at it and we'll say, I think this would have a bromelia that would look fabulous, because sometimes people bring in the containers and they want to say, I want this, but it's, by the time you put it in, it would look kind of strange.
I got you.
So we give you step by step.
And what about being able to shop throughout the antique store looking for all the little goodies? Like I said, I had to have one of these little bird's nests.
Our little trick here with our European gardens is that we always like to include a little accessory, whether it's a little bird, a little nest, or mushrooms.
Cute. These are adorable.
And that's really what makes it extra special. And of course, we've got this beautiful planter that uses the manzanita twig.
And you've got everything here that I can actually pick from, and I'll know.
Absolutely.
How long does it take? You make them a day, a couple days?
Sometimes people will bring in a container, and I can usually whip it up in an hour.
Oh, can you really?
If it's
days, days. Okay, so we've got peanuts.
Yes, then you put in the soil.
Okay.
And then you just use your various plants of the look that you want. Now this is kind of an elegant look with an orchid. Or if you want something a little more funky looking, you can go with a couple of bromeliads and the alocasia that is a tropical look.
Let me ask you a question. Are you taking the plant out of the pot
yes,
to do that?
Okay. Except for the orchid. The orchid stays in its pot because it's got draining holes in it. But these we'll just remove and arrange in the soil in the container.
When I have one of these, do I have to maintain it? Oh, okay. Oh, look at her. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yes. That's the main. Everybody thinks, oh, you got these beautiful plants and they need to be soaked and soaked. The container gardens need maybe a half a cup once a week.
Oh, my gosh.
They don't like being sitting in soil. And the reason is, when everything's finished, we go ahead and surround it with the moss. And so the moss keeps the moisture in. So usually if things are looking strange, it's just too much water.
How long can I expect one of my English gardens?
Fabulous, probably at least 3 months.
Really? Now,
Yes.
do I trim it back or do I
If
bring
it
it in
gets-
for a tune-up?
Well, you could. I mean, the palm, you just do a little snipping.
Okay.
But sometimes people will bring in kind of bedraggled looking things and say, can you refurbish? And so we'll just refresh it.
What a great thing for a winter. Oh, I
You
love
know,
it.
you know why? Because it's sort of bringing the outdoors inside your home, and it's fabulous.
It makes sense. So we've got these, you've also got these beautiful terrariums.
Yes, now these are a little time consuming to do. And I love this one because it has a big opening so you're able to get your hand in. Sometimes
Yes.
people will bring in something and it's very small, which makes it a little more difficult. But you have to have the base correct.
Okay.
You have to have a few stones and then some charcoal and then soil. And then you have to use various small plants that we'll divide and put in, and then again accessorize with the little shells.
What I'm learning about the greenery is that always expect the unexpected. I think the things that you do, and I mean, you're not just plants. You're
No.
everything and that.
Absolutely, especially this fine antique shop.
Yes.
I think if once people come in, they'll be pleasantly surprised.
Oh, thank you, Deanne.